Welcome to D&G's Parlé,
where we keep y'all at the park.
and let y'all know the real.
So if you can't take the heat, then get out the kitchen.
Listen to me now.
So thank you all so much for watching the previous episodes with an S. Thank you all so much for all the much love and support and everything that y'all have commented, like everyone who subscribed. We see you all, and we truly appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. We are now entering the month of December, which is the last month of the year, and to celebrate, we want to wear our igloo sweaters and our little Santa hats. Because we are Christian, we celebrate Christmas. We understand that everyone don't, but we do.
Correct. Sorry if you don't.
Happy holidays.
So, what you trying to get into today, then?
In the last 2 episodes, what's it? Or last 3? Anyway, one of those episodes, we talked about healthy relationships. I think it's time that we flip the coin and talk about toxic relationships.
Now we flipped the tails. Well, we did kind of briefly talk about toxic relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you want to get more into how you get out of the toxic relationship?
That, and how do you know that your relationship is toxic? And if you are the toxic one. Because some people don't take accountability for being toxic and want to put the blame on other people, but sometimes it's you. And it's okay to admit that. It's just has a lot of work to do.
It is okay to admit that, but most won't. A lot of people don't, let's just say this, like, a lot of people don't know that they're toxic. Like, they don't, I think people don't know. Like, I'm gonna say not all, but some. I do feel like some people really don't realize that they're toxic, because a narcissistic person is pretty much toxic, but that's a mental disability. Like, they might not even realize they're doing that.
I do see that part, but I feel like most people, I don't know, I feel like narcissism, that's such a hard word to say. I feel like it's more extreme than what people use it to define. I feel like it's thrown around real loosely. Because like in psychology, when I studied abnormal psychology, you have to meet all criteria of the DSM-5, which is the guidebook that they use to make their diagnoses. I feel like it's thrown around too loosely, honestly. I feel like, yes, people have traits of narcissism, but I feel like it may be early stages of it. It's not full-blown narcissism. But at the same time, I feel like, because the person gonna tell you, whether you admit it or not, or whether you accept it or take accountability for it, that's on you. But I feel like deep down inside, you just try to cover it up and try to deflect to say that it's not. That you just blame the other person, which is what narcissists do. But I don't know, it's just hard to say. Because when you think of other mental disorders like schizophrenia, when they hear voices and stuff, that's something you really can't help. And you might think it's normal. It might be your reality, but I'm pretty sure it's people. You see them 2 dogs.
Okay, yeah, I can see the dogs.
I'm not tripping.
Oh, they look hungry. Oh, they look hungry. I thought you was going to say you saw that woman again. And I was going to get up out of here.
She's going to be out here. But it's hard because, like you said, you might not know that you're toxic. You might not know that you're the problem. But that's when you need to self-reflect. There are hints and there are signs that you are the problem. If every relationship that you enter does not work out, what does that tell you? There's only one common denominator there.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
See, I disagree.
I feel like something's wrong there.
I mean, it's possible that it could be something wrong with you.
You could choose bad. You could
just be choosing bad people. Yeah. I mean, how can you even say like, what if somebody really just matching that energy with you? Like, what if y'all both toxic?
I mean, that's the case in many relationships.
Got a point. So, I mean, how you get out of that? How would you get out of that?
Me?
Yeah.
I would go ghost.
So you wouldn't like break up with them?
Yeah, I would send a long message cussing them out and everything, and I would block them.
Not cussing them out.
Everything, then I would block them. You ain't gonna have no chance to respond to me. That's how I would do it. I'm not saying that's the correct way to do it, but that's how I would do it.
See,
that is not the correct way to do it.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like that's the best way to do it because giving them a chance to respond just gonna open it back up. Like that's just gonna open that wound that you're trying to close for real, and you gonna respond back, and then y'all gonna be going back and forth. So no, it probably is better to just go ahead and block that person.
But I think that you should have that conversation just so you could have that closure. Because you just bothering like, what are they doing? What are they up to? You can't force yourself to get over someone. That's just human nature. You cannot force it.
It takes time, for sure.
You cannot force it. I don't care how bad you try. It's like when someone tell you not to think of a white elephant, what's in your head the whole time? A white elephant. So that's why I hate when like people be like, just get over this person and just leave. It's not that easy.
It's easier said than done. Always gonna be easier said than done. However, I do agree with you. I do feel like you could have that conversation. But I know me, I love hard, and if I'm like, depending on how long I've been with this person or whatever, I know it'd be even harder for me to sit there and have that conversation with them because I know that that's just gonna open them up for them to be like, oh, well, I'm gonna do better at this, or I'm gonna fix this and fix that. And then your mind start wondering because now you're like, well, I want this person to, like, I want him to fix it, or I want her to fix it. I want this person, so I want to risk that to see if they're gonna actually do what they say. So that's why I'm like, maybe it is best you just say what you gotta say and get on, because when you don't, then you got that conversation on the table, and now you're like, I'll give them one more chance. And one more chance turned into 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, 10. But to me, that's where boundaries come in. You set those boundaries with yourself first. You have to have those boundaries with yourself, knowing that, I'm not going to be hurt again. This person's actions is telling me different than their words. We have repeated the same thing. It's not the first time of us having this conversation. It's time to move on. This is going nowhere. But if you are a person who likes to hold on to potential, or like with a big, huge heart, saying that people change. People do change. I'm not going to deny that. People do change. But it's just like, how much of you are you going to lose if that process wasn't on said person to change? That's why you set those boundaries with yourself, with that person. Don't lower your standards. Don't go against your own boundaries. Just do what you came to do. Do what you came to say. Do what makes you happy. But I understand like giving people second chances. People be like, I'm sorry, put on a little sad puppy face, and you be like, well, I feel that it becomes pity.
Yeah.
Rather than, I'm not gonna say rather than, but more than love, it becomes pity. You start to pity that person.
It does. I get what you're saying with the whole, you gotta have boundaries for yourself, but it takes you getting to that point to have those boundaries.
When it shouldn't.
It shouldn't. It definitely shouldn't. Like, I feel like we as human beings allow other human beings to have a lot of control over us, even though we shouldn't. Like, it should not matter. I told somebody just the other day, you came in this world by yourself, and you're gonna leave this world by yourself. So what is it if this person mad at you or not? What is it if this person loves you or not at the end of the day? But I do understand that it is hard. Like, you should, like, technically, what we get mad at people for? Why get mad at somebody?
Because they did something wrong. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being mad at people.
It ain't nothing wrong with being mad at people. But then what if it becomes, like you said, toxic? They see you arguing every day, back and forth. You start letting people. I feel like that is control. I feel like if people can get you out of your character and get you to a point like that, that's
absolutely control.
That's control, and it happens without you knowing that it's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes people ain't self-aware to say like, ain't no way this person got this much control over me to make me this upset. Some people don't know that.
I agree, but at the same time, I feel like some people try to cover it up too. I feel like some people bury it down so deep to where, like you said, they know it, but they don't really realize that it's actively happening. That's how I feel about it. And as far as that, I just think that one, to get out of a relationship, to answer our own question, to get out of a toxic relationship, one, I would say tip number one would be to let it run its course. There's nothing you can force. This is my opinion. I don't think there's nothing you can force. You can't force yourself to get over that person. You can't force yourself to stop communicating with that person. You can't force yourself to do anything really when it comes to how you love people.
I agree.
The thing I would say that you could work on is learning to value and love yourself more and your time more and realize that you deserve better. That's how I would get over it. But at the same time, just let it run its course. There's nothing you can do as a human being because that's who we are. That's our nature as human beings. Just let it run its course because relationships happen for a reason. I feel like everyone is where they're at for a reason. Maybe it's trying to teach you something. Maybe it's something that you're trying to need to teach that person. Maybe it's meant to be. You never know.
I can agree with you on that. I can 100% agree with you on that. I don't know. If it was me, I guess, I don't know. I could sit here all day and say, I'm just going to deal with it. I'm going to get up out of there. I ain't studying this person, but I know deep down I have a big heart. And I know that it is hard to just say goodbye to somebody that you want. You see potential in, but you just ain't getting it right in. So you have to live off this false hope that, hey, one day this is what it's gonna be. Like it's gonna be that person. So I get what you're saying. Like just let it run its course, see where it goes, because eventually you will get to a point where you can say, hey, I'm done. My heart can't take no more. I'm tired of being hurt.
Yep.
I'm tired of being lied to, cheated, whatever the case may be. Like I'm tired of this toxicity in my life, and I need to let it go. And one point in time, like one day, you're gonna choose peace. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and it's just like you said, we're just talking now, but it takes everyone's different. It takes people different amount of time to learn a lesson. I learned my lesson the third time. I learned my lesson, and ever since then, I feel like it's when you have to isolate yourself, you have to become a whole new person. Like you can't do the same things you used to do because it remind you of that person. You can't go the same places you used to go because it remind you of that person. You can't hang with the same people all the time because it will remind you of that person. I felt like you just create a new routine, create your new self to truly heal from it. You create so much to where you forget what's been destroyed.
Yeah.
Is how I would put it. Because like I said earlier, you can't force yourself. Just trying to force yourself to do it makes it worse. Honestly.
I agree. I 100% agree with you. We can agree on that. We ain't gotta agree to disagree this time. I can 100% agree with you on that. Like that's just set in stone. Like I couldn't have said it better myself, honestly. So
that's the EI of this section today. And, where is this accent coming from? But thank you all so much for watching this episode. We hope that you all have enjoyed, and let us know what you think down below in the comments. How would you go about getting out of a toxic relationship? Are you in a toxic relationship? Are you the toxic person? Answer one of 3 of those questions, if you don't mind.
Not if you don't mind. I mean, since you're here, why not? Might as well. Well, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Yo.